Innovate, accelerate, move technology forward. The startup revolution is now.
Afternoon, everyone. As part of the Philippine Startup Week 2022, New Energy Nexus Philippines is proud to present Homegrown Climate Tech Heroes, a showcase of four startup founders changing the climate tech landscape with their innovative solutions. I am Sansa Limbao, Partnerships Manager of New Energy Nexus Philippines, your host and moderator for today's event. The sixth assessment report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, published in 2021, shows the severe and mounting threat of climate change to humans and our planet. With the current ways humans addresses climate change, the world will still face unavoidable multiple climate hazards with severe irreversible impacts. The energy sector is the highest contributor to greenhouse gas or GHG emissions that cause climate change. The energy industry contributes over 75% of GHG emissions in developed countries. In the Philippines' latest GHG inventory, the energy and transportation sector contributes 53.5% to the total GHG emissions. Therefore, transitioning to clean energy has a significant role in addressing the climate emergency we face. New innovative technologies are the key to clean energy transition. According to the International Renewable Energy Agency, or IRENA, the energy transition involves the accelerated deployment of renewable energy technologies and energy efficiency and requires systematic innovation, matching and leveraging synergies in innovations across all sectors. IRENA focuses on the disruptive technology similar to the solar power, which was backed by research and development, government funding, policies and mandates, as well as clamor from the civil society, resulting to a more accessible and cheaper source of energy. We need to learn from this success in order to replicate this effect deliberately and quickly in all emitting sectors. So, as part of the Philippine Startup Week 2022, New Energy Nexus Philippines is showcasing four climate tech founders and how their innovations are making a difference in the communities they are serving and with the GHG reductions or avoidance that they are making. The objective of the event is to encourage and inspire innovators and aspiring startup founders to be conscious and deliberate about the climate and environmental impact of their enterprises and projects and create possible partnerships between the featured startups and the Philippine Startup Week stakeholders. So, without further ado, let us introduce our first startup founder and panelist, Mr. Leo Marcelo Villalba. Leo is a registered electrical engineer with a joint master's degree in sustainable transportation and electrical power systems. He is interested in developing technologies that are key to sustainable energy transition, such as renewable energy integration and smart grid applications. He is currently living in Cagayan de Oro City and is always open to connecting and sharing ideas with other people who are also interested in a transition to sustainable energy future. Leo, you can now pitch your startup.
Good day, everyone. My name is Leo Villalba. I am the head and co-founder of Micro, an early-stage micro pump hydro energy storage solution startup. The problem that we are trying to solve is the last mile electrification. In 2020, the city-level electrification is already at 83.6%, still lacking around 24,000 cities for total electrification. The current solution of diesel machinery electrification in remote communities are exposed to oil market and logistics volatility, high true cost of generation in small demand communities, and lastly, it comes with the pollution to the environment. On the other hand, we can electrify through renewable energy. However, this comes with the issue of flexibility. To address this issue, energy storage such as batteries are used widely. Batteries nowadays and in the years to come are still very expensive, making the investment uneconomical, especially in community scale and longer duration storage. We aim to provide a solution by replacing the medium duration storage from batteries to micro pump hydro storage for city level electrification. It stores energy at higher head and generate power when water is discharged, similar to hydropower plants. To enable this, a bidirectional power flow converter is required for pumping and generating, where our technology comes into play. So for the status of our early stage startup, we just concluded the new Energy Nexus acceleration program with the activities as shown below. After that, several organizations have had shown interest already for our startup, such as PFAN, SECAT Foundation, and Tahoe Hub Incubator with Robinson's Land. So we have done the initial validation and with electric cooperatives in the problem that we are tackling and the assumptions. Some of the key takeaways that we learned for the unelectrified cities mainly are the reasons why they are unelectrified. Next, that one of the electric cooperatives had been already planning to implement a micro pump storage to reduce their true cost of generation. There are many islands aside from the mountainous regions with potential, and lastly, most of the electric cooperatives are willing to try new technologies. Second is the approval of our budget for the first prototype by DOST TAPI under their concept prototyping program. Aside from this, we are also continuously improving our presentations and MVP for the next round of funding and prototyping before the pilot implementation. In terms of technology development, we have already started the modeling, simulations, hardware design of the converter, and embedded coding for the first MVP. The actual prototype implementation is also already ongoing. There are two prototyping needed before the pilot implementation. The first one is the small scale prototype to enable this renewable energy integration, and the next one is to scale this prototype for the pilot implementation. And lastly, the pilot implementation will be an opportunity for us to test and improve the product and also for demonstration to attract customers. For the business side, the product roadmap shows that a new market segment is identified after the first prototype that can potentially give us early market entry. And also the business model is currently being studied deeply as existing and new microgrid business models are slowly being implemented. The financial models for micropump storage is also being improved. So lastly, I would like to close with the following statement by Engineer Ezekiel. One of our interviewees said that maganda ang Pilipinas to be an implementation ground for this kind of technology. Again, I am Leo Villalba, currently leading the team. We are Team Micro, and thank you very much for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm from PSolar. PSolar stands for Payment Innovation for Solar Home Systems or SHS ownership by Layout Routine. And this is the moment when we ideate for PSolar. We started with a inspiration, with a motivation to help these people living in the far-flung area. Can you imagine what they feel every night? um, Making themselves being productive in most of their household chores, but they cannot do it productively because um, the light is poor. And even for the students who are working for their future, who are doing their assignment, they cannot even be productive. This poor lighting and dangerous chemicals are somehow cause a barrier for their development. And according to the Philippine Department of Energy, although there is already an estimated of more than 20 million households electrified in the Philippines by this year 2022, but still the electrification rate is still 95%, and we have still to catch up to 5% of these unelectrified communities, and that's for roughly 57,000 um, households to be uh, to needed to be needed to have an acquisition of the solar home systems, especially in the far-flung and off-grid areas. And these will constitute to a 2 million, more than 2 million households get to electrify this year and to upcoming years. So therefore, Philippines still has a long way to go with the electrification rate. and that is basically caused by the financial barrier. Um, and aside from that, we cannot also work in hand with our renewable solutions provider or electric co-ops, as they are not into working on this far from areas, since it's difficult for them to collect for their financial obligation. And also, there is a lot of cost needed for them to monitor the health of their um, deployed solar home systems. And also, they desire also to make the payment easier and secure, as it's very challenging for these far-flung areas. And that's where we come up with our solution, P-Solar. So P-Solar actually is a payment innovation for owning a solar home system, which enables low-income commoners afford clean energy with low upfront costs and cheaper incremental payments. And this is very easy to work as a solution. Um, uh, the, the solar home system has a control module which controls the access for the SHS, and the said control has a mechanism that can either be through an RFID as a primary payment module or a standby collect a secondary payment module through SMS or LORA. And this said mechanism serves as an enforcement module to regulate the access of the SHH, meaning SHH will function um, if an energy credit is loaded. And the key person for acquiring the energy credit is what we call the village local entrepreneur. And P Solar Tech is also there providing them the digitalization and automation of the payment. And it's a real-time monitoring and really a relief in the pain of this renewable energy solution provider in monitoring the health of the deployed solar home system. And the benefits is very clear here because we are offering affordable energy, an easy financing scheme, and a low upfront fees. And though we have competition, but let's stay about it, as we were working with the Philippine uh, arena and the culture, and how the technology is greatly fitted to the culture and to the environment, really serve as our advantage for this matter. And we are working hard, as we are already working our impact with 30 households and 3 sitios. And right now, as this technology is planned to spin off in a university, we're currently in talks and currently had a MOA with a licensing agreement with EdTech, as they are the ones we are licensee of our technology. And simple business model that they apply for our technology is just a profit margin of 3.9 out of the 16 almost 17,000 cost of the system. And the important thing here is that this is a benefit sharing concept, wherein all of the stakeholders involved here has a part. And we want to continue our impact in the far-flung areas, and that is why we need your help for mass production, technical viability, and market validation. And we want to have a total electrification and double the oro and double the motor. And help our team. This is our team, and we're composed of engineers, doctors, and also business people who wants to really help change, make a change in terms of electrification in far-flung areas, especially in GIDA areas. And thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark from Bayowa, and let me share with you what we do. So, Bayowa enables clients to make effective operational decisions through innovative data gathering technologies and analytics. So, essentially, we see ourselves as an Internet of Things company, but our focus is on building energy efficiency. So, we do this by providing building energy modeling services, wherein we can simulate the energy performance of any given building and provide building owners with an insight on their energy consumption and identify sources for inefficient energy use. This way, we can recommend and even estimate potential energy savings, whether it's monetary or not, and further improve their business operations. So, what we do with our clients is to install several devices that can help monitor or control the energy used in their buildings or facilities. Usually, we work closely with building owners to study first how their buildings consume energy. And through detailed case studies or pilot studies, we are able to identify in good detail the opportunities for energy efficiency or conservation measures. So in this year alone, we worked with two clients wherein we were able to collectively have a potential annual savings of up to 105,000 pesos. This is in terms of the amount that was saved through energy reduction, energy consumption reduction, which is also has an equivalent of about 440 kilograms worth of CO2 emission avoidance. So we think that by working, especially right now, we're working with academics who are interested in starting with building their own building energy research, as well as LGUs who are trying to start or yeah, they try to begin their initiatives on implementing energy efficiency and conservation measures, also in line with the existing law called RA 11285 or the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act of 2019. So Bayo is currently in a perfect position to help both parties or stakeholders in improving their energy consumption and also contribute to mitigating climate change through emission avoidance. So Bayowa is composed of very talented people, as you can see on the screen, who share uh, uh, who share a passion towards seeing Philippines becoming a beacon of building energy efficiency in our region. And with this, I hope I was able to introduce Bayowa to you briefly, and we thank you very much for listening.
So we now have our only female panelist for today's event, Suzanne Beatriz Remolio. So Bea is a geodetic engineer and innovation professional with BS and MS from UP Diliman and Asian Institute of Management, respectively. Former business development and finance officer of solar energy projects for more than 2 years. Currently a freelance consultant for the local solar energy industry, product manager of Oracle Analytics, cloud platforms, maps, and spatial component, and co-founder and chief operating officer of Cogen Energy. So, Suzanne, Bea, would you like to introduce to us Cogen?
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Yes, I am Bea of Team Cogen. So let me introduce to you Cogen. So we all know the saying, with more power comes greater responsibility. But in our case as Filipino consumers, it's more apt to say that with more power comes higher electricity bills. So let's watch this short video about our two customer personas.
Meet Rolly and Japay. Rolly is a family man with high electricity demand. He wants to reduce their increasing energy costs. He's thinking of installing solar panels on their roof. However, he doesn't know how, and the upfront cost is quite expensive. Meanwhile, Japay is a young professional living in a condo. He's looking for an alternative investment and source of income. He cares for the environment and would have invested in solar if only he has his own roof. Introducing Cogen Energy. Cogen solves the problems of Rolly and Japay. How does Cogen make clean energy more accessible to Rolly and Japay? Through Cogen, Japay can subscribe to Rolly's solar panels. From Japay's subscription, Rolly gets solar installation at zero upfront cost. Rolly pays Cogen for their monthly solar consumption at a discounted rate. A portion of these payments goes to Japay on a monthly basis. Through Cogen, Rolly gets zero capital solar installation and saves electricity cost. And Japay gets an alternative investment and source of income while doing something good for the environment and the society. For Rolly and Japay, Cogen makes clean energy more accessible to both of them.
So that's Cogen, and we are reinventing access to clean energy. Cogen is a two-sided B2C platform that caters to property owners like Rolly and subscribers like Jaffe. Cogen facilitates an innovative co-ownership model that addresses the high upfront cost of clean energy by providing impactful investment opportunities. Initially, we are offering residential solar rooftop solutions. We currently have three co-generators and four co-owners for our pilot sites. And we had our first co-generator with a 5 kilowatt peak system installed in Mandaluyong in 2020. This project is fully subscribed with five co-owner slots. We later had our second project, a 3 kilowatt peak system installed in Marikina last year. And this year, we had our third project, a 5 kilowatt peak system installed in Quezon City. So, how can we make clean energy accessible to Filipinos? This is our answer. Wogen acts as an intermediary that creates an infinite loop of value co-creation and impact to the ecosystem. We want to create an impact loop amplifying the Bayanihan culture that benefits the society and the environment. Once again, we are Cogen. Join us in our mission of making clean energy more accessible to all Filipinos. Thank you.
So hello again, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to participate in the Philippine Startup Week event. So for the first question for all of you guys, so what motivated or inspired you to create your own startup? So I would like to call on, I think on my screen is the first one. So Mark, can you tell us how you started or what inspired you to start this journey?
So actually, Bayowa came from an idea on an academic setting. So this was originally a research work. Then we found out, we thought that it has a potential to not only help people in an academic setting and to learn more, but actually has a huge impact to, say, small businesses, SMEs, and LGUs as well, because of, as I've mentioned in the pitch earlier, of the new Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. So the idea was we know things about building energy efficiency. Why not make it a service for our fellow countrymen? So that's where the idea really started.
Okay, thank you for that. How about you, Bea? What inspired you to start Cogen?
Well, in my case, in my previous business development work, I used to visit and engage with remote communities with no access to electricity and water. So that inspired me to improve myself to better solve such problems. So I took the innovation in business course at AIM. That's where I met my co-founders. So that's how we created Cogen.
So it's really nice. So we have academe and I think civil society activities, no civil society work. So how about you, Leo? Where did the micro idea come start?
So for me, I was really first I was interested in startups because of our chairman, which is Dado Banataw. I was a PhilDev Foundation scholar, and we have these three pillars of education, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So I was into the technopreneurship, and last year I had the opportunity to really try this myself, and luckily we won the challenge in New Energy Nexus, and now it is currently ongoing.
Nice. How about you, Dr. French? Sir French?
So basically, P Solar started as an extension project when DOE uh, had this program before with our university, which is affiliated renewable energy centers or AREC. So, and since a part of the sustainability of the university is to, to still continue this program that was initially funded externally, so ginawa namin siyang parang extension project. So that's where we got some idea that the first deployment of these solar home systems or SHS were somehow hindi siya na-maintain. So nasisira siya. So kaya even they don't they see that it's red that we are already 90%, but however That's where just about the installation per se, but however, in the maintenance, after 1 or 2 years, hindi na kasi yan siya nagagamit na ng mga beneficiary. So that is why the problem is about the monitoring of these solar home solar home systems devices, and also one thing then they cannot install a large solar panels with an affordable cost. It's because renewable energy solutions provider hindi nagpapautang sa mga malalayong lugar kasi mahirap mangolekta ng pera sa kanila. Diba? So that is why we come up also with the financial technology that even walang SMS or walang internet, with the help of the VLP, still we can accommodate the digitalization of the payment of these people living in the far-flung area, especially mga lumans po.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Franch. Really inspiring to see how your parang passion for your work translated into something that became a startup and an innovation as well. So going back, so with that idea or motivation in mind, what was your first step into pursuing your startup journey? Like, what did you do first to solidify this journey? Um, Siguro Leo.
Um, for me po, I think validation talaga. So, kasi especially in our case, we are a hardware-based company. So, before we can continue, we really need to validate first if our ideas are really viable. So, that is the important thing we did. And somehow we got feedbacks from customers, and that kept us going to pursue more in the journey of our startup.
Okay. How about you, Mark? How did you pursue the startup? Like, what was your first step?
Actually, it came in a form of an opportunity po, which is New Energy Nexus Philippines. Because yung background kasi namin is highly academic. And so yung problem namin was, okay, on the technical side, I think we're okay. And I can actually create a prototype or create how the service works. Pero we really don't have an idea dun sa like client discovery, how to create business models. So dun talaga kami nag-struggle actually. And that's why I was very thankful as part of the first cohort, I guess, of New Energy Nexus. Yun, naging learning step talaga siya. I think if wala si NEN, we will still be stuck dun sa, okay, we need to prod our service idea, but we don't know how to connect with the potential clients as such.
So, how about you, Sir Franch? I think you mentioned that you pursued certain activities to solidify yung mga ideas nyo. What other things do you consider as something needed when you start your startup journey?
Yeah, syempre, when you are starting a startup, it's not like for the sake that you have a startup, right? Syempre, when you decided to form as a team and legalize as a startup to registration, say to BPI, uh, you should already have a market. No? Kasi that's the reason why we form a startup, because we started with the customer, with the problem. We didn't start it as a solution. We started as a problem. That's where we develop our solution with our customers. So with that in mind, we see the opportunity, and not only working as for working with the renewable energy solutions provider, but also with the several agencies who are also working for the sustainability of the, like for example, DOE or other government agencies who want to electrify the unserved communities of these electric cooperatives or the electricity provider. So that's where we now working with them to uh, as to make our startup sustainable and livable. So, yan. So, pag may customer, then yun, that's the existence of the startup.
Nice. Thank you, Sir Franch. Bea, you mentioned that you started in AIM. So how did you come up na parang ito na yun, gagawin na natin 'to?
Well, Kogan is actually it's our capstone project at AIM. So that's where we did all the market research, ideation, to problem solution fit, product market fit, and that's where my journey started. My teammates have already founded other startups before Kogan, so that's where my journey started at AIM talaga.
Nice. I think all of you guys got the support you needed in one form or another from AIM, the academe, through Nexus, and through the government agencies that you made touch points with. And very valid points, Sir Franch, na I really think that the problem, parang opportunity is created through problems then sometimes. Okay, so for my next question, how do you think startups can revolutionize the climate tech and energy transition space? So start us as startups, where do you see yourself in the climate tech and energy transition space, and how does it change the landscape? Um, Dr. Franch.
Yeah, nasak ako dun. Ano yung yung
Sorry.
tanong?
So the question was, how do you think startups can revolutionize the climate tech and energy transition space?
Yeah, malaki kasi startup are meant to disrupt the way we do things normally. And I think that's what we need for our climate because the thing that because climate change is already um, it's a long issue already, and then there are a lot of initiatives. There's already a lot of funding. There's a lot of organizations working on it. Pero wala namang nangyayari. So that's siguro that because that's the normal thing that they do. They do it in a way that is commonly done by everyone. So it's time that startup should shine in in this in this in this problem because they are expected to revolutionize the way we should approach climate change, and that's through technology because technology is the scalable factor of how the solutions can be distributed efficiently, and these solutions can be uh, immediately parang mag scale ba yung tawag yun sa word or parang madali siyang
Accelerate.
i-distribute, i-share sa ibang lugar because it's not only applicable here but also applicable to other places who have also the initiative for climate change reduction. So I think that's where we need to be excited about our startups right now, directly or indirectly solving the problems of climate change.
True. Thank you so much for that, Dr. French. Medyo maraming knowledge bits doon about technology being the scalable,
Yeah.
parang, and and it should be distributable and nice. Okay, so how about you, Mark? What do you think is the role of startups in revolutionizing the climate tech and energy transition space?
Opo. So I'd like kahit from academics perspective naman po ito. So whenever we do research work, especially sa building energy efficiency, we have this perspective na it seems there is a gap. Like we have this set of theories in classrooms or whatnot, and then we have the actual situation. And yung mas mahirap pa niyan is if, for example, we have a problem like say energy efficiency in buildings, that's pretty hard to measure or analyze on the onset. And through startups, I think it's a way of sustaining a solution kasi we can come up with a solution theoretically. However, we cannot immediately apply it on our community. Like say if we can do outreach, that's good, but it will have more impact if sustainable siya in terms of merong na-generate na revenue, it provides work sa mga people, and at the same time, yung long-term goal niya is to have an impact to say mitigate climate change and such. So I think at the center of it all is yung pag pagiging aggressive natin sa pag-come up with more startups that addresses problems like this. Yun po.
Tama, no? Like finding your roots. Ano ba talaga yung
Opo.
core value ng startup, no? Um, Leo, what can you say about the question, the revolutionization of climate tech and energy transition?
I think for me is that startups, unlike big corporations, they can move very fast. As the
Mm,
saying goes, fail fast in order to succeed sooner. And also the energy transition right now, it opens new opportunities and complexities, especially in the renewable energy sector. I think the big companies, though they have a lot of resources, they move very slow compared to startups where they have to move very fast because they don't have a lot of resources, which drives the innovation faster.
nice. Nice. I like that sentiment. Like drive innovation faster, no? Kasi you have to be resourceful and you have to be very innovative because you lack the resources. Very good. How about you, Bea? Can you say?
Well, for me, startups fill in the gaps that can accelerate the energy transition in a holistic and inclusive way. Because, for example, for renewable energy solutions, it's not very accessible to, as an individual, it's not very easy to access renewable energy solutions for many reasons, one of which is, for example, high upfront cost. So, for example, cogen, that's where we come in. So, we fill in those kinds of gaps.
Nice. Tama. I think you really have all of you have very valid points and nice insights on where the startups stand on this climate tech and energy space. Okay, so on a lighter note, we consider you right now as the modern superheroes because of all the changes and innovations that you do. So, what do you think is your superpower? So, Dr. Franch, what is your superpower? If you're a modern superhero,
Superhero. Ano ba yan? Marvel or sa... ano, kung superhero ako, I think siguro, uh, we have the in relation to climate change. Wala na ito. At saka, ano na, wala nang, we can actually do anything without fossil fuel. Like, yan. So, we can actually work everything with the renewable energy. So,
mhm.
if I have the power, ano,
Grabe, gusto ko yung
fuck.
superpower mo, sir. Lahat tayo, I think, gusto yan. One snap of a finger ay masosolve natin talaga ang climate change.
Tama ba yan? Tama ba yung
Ah,
sagot ko? In
ay,
relation to energy,
wala,
kasi
wala, walang tama or mali sagot, sir. Kasi, kasi
iba kasi yung
together.
imagination ko.
Okay.
Sa superpower, nabigla ako doon.
So, so how about you, Bea? What do you think as a modern superhero can you consider as your superpower?
For me, I think it's shape shifting
Nice.
because we have to take on different roles. We put on different shoes to really understand the needs. So for me, it's all about empathy. Empathy. So yeah, I think shape shifting is my superpower.
Nice. Okay. How about you, Leo? What do you think is your superpower?
I think right now is maybe my determination and research skill. So, one for determination is to continue doing what I had researched and implement it in our product. Second is the research skills where I developed greatly in my master's. It taught me to become independent and look for resources that will be used in order to have what I am doing really working. And I believe everything is already available online and free. So it is just a matter on how you look for it and how you use it.
Max. So yan. Very, very Miss Universe answer. Thank you. Okay. How about you, Mark? What is your superpower?
Siguro for me, it's being super analytical.
Max?
Um, Oo po. Hindi naman siya on the purely technical sense, but as a startup co-founder, it's important to always take a step back and think, especially during the hard times. Yung parang gusto natin mag-give up, gusto na natin like, ay, mag-transition na ako balik to my previous career because it's very difficult. Sabi nga ni Sir Leo kanina, we have to be resourceful, di ba? And we have to think well. So I think if I have the power is with, super analytics na I can pause, evaluate things, assess where I am now, what I can if it cannot be, then what can I do something else. So I think yan po, it will, yun yung iniisip ko na that keeps me here. Yan,
Nice.
superpower.
I really think that all those superpowers set you apart to all other people na I think we all have ideas, we all have these innovative ideas or passion to change the world. But your superpower is the super analytical, being determined, not procrastinating, keeping on the research, being resourceful, and being flexible and adjusting to the no to the changing time. So I really think those are what sets you apart as innovators and startup founders. So congratulations to your superpowers, guys. So, next question. So, in 10 years' time, so I think the theme of Philippine Startup Week is, sorry, I have to check. Hometown Heroes Cultivating Future Tech Giants. So, we consider you as the future tech giants. So, in 10 years' time, where do you see you and your startup? So, kung meron tayong superpower of looking into the future, how do you want to see you and your startup? Bea.
Um, for Cogen in 10 years, Cogen would probably have expanded to other climate tech solutions by then. Because right now we're starting with solar because it's the low hanging fruit, but it's really in our roadmap to expand to other climate tech solutions. And also our team would have expanded by then as well.
So, mas maraming tao, ganun. Tama ba?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice yun. In 10 years feeling ko may office na kayo sa Makati, gano'n. May
probably.
2 floors na kayo, gano'n. Okay, Dr. Fran, how about you? Where do you see P Solar in 10 years?
Uh, this solar is somehow ano na, well, nationwide na. We 100% electrified the Philippines.
I love that. Salute.
Baka hindi pa abot ng 10 years. Hambog naman na.
Naks. In 10 years, wala. International na pala si P Solar.
Ah, punta na kami ng ibang lugar sa Asia. Yeah.
Nice. I agree to that. Like everything, it was all an idea before, pero now, di ba, we have realized some of your ideas before. So why not, guys? How about you, Mark? Where is Bayoa heading to in 10 years? Like, what can you see it happening?
Actually, we have this vision na in 10 years time or so, we are working closely with the government, with the private industry, and the academe. Tapos gagawa tayo ng synergy wherein, since we are focusing here on building energy efficiency, no, we can create a synergy wherein we have the industry generating ground data on, what have been na-trend in terms of energy efficiency. Then we can help, say, influence future policies to be improved and to be better. We can now have these learnings brought to an academic setting so that our future engineers, future professionals can also learn from what has transpired in the past 10 years. And, there's this good synergy community among the different sectors. And I hope na Bayowa can help achieve that kind of paradigm, kumbaga.
Nice. I love that because I think we agree on that kasi we also believe that the energy autonomy, energy transition is a
Mhm.
multi-pronged,
Yes.
multi-sectoral issue that needs to be tackled. Uh,
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so how about you, Leo? Where is micro by the time, 10 years time, in a decade?
So maybe if ever it will be successful, so I
It
can
will
see it.
be. Don't say if ever. It will be.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
When.
yeah. So I can see it leading the microgrid systems in the country where hybridized renewable energy sources and energy storages are integrated, not only limited to the current technologies like batteries, but also maybe compressed air technologies, technologies, and so on. And also maybe going into electric vehicles, trains, and watercrafts. So, because we have the same technologies.
Nice. So it's really nice to see that you really um foresee something bigger in your future, and I think all of you are working hard to achieve those goals. So to give a bit more of inspiration to our audience, what do you want to tell innovation enthusiasts or students or just uh, those people who have an idea but are reluctant to pursue them? So yung mga again, we mentioned na lahat 'to nagsisimula sa isang idea. So what do you want to tell them to inspire them to pursue this idea? Leo.
So for me, it is really a very tiresome endeavor. Before
Hindi po niya kayo dini-discourage.
Yeah,
Opo.
before moving from an idea, it is really important to validate your ideas first. So especially like for us, we are hardware based. It takes some time to develop, and this is to ensure that at least the idea is viable, as I said earlier. So then, as much as possible, iterate over the idea, prototypes, and ask for help and feedback. So it is always very hard to start something, but once it gets rolling, everything will come into place.
That's nice. That's really nice. How about you, Bea? What can you tell those who are still starting their journey?
For those startup enthusiasts and entrepreneurs, what I would like to say is that the world needs your innovative ideas come to life. So for them, I recommend joining startup competitions to, practice pitching. You can also meet your teammates there. You can get external feedback and test the validity of your idea by joining startup competitions. And once you have validated your idea, you can start joining acceleration programs. New Energy Nexus, for example, uh, is a good has good acceleration programs, especially if your startup or idea is about climate tech and sustainability solutions.
Thank you. Yes, we do. We offer some programs to support the startup community. So, how about you, Mark?
Yes, po. I think there are two important words that should always come in mind. Be open to learning and always act on an idea. So every time we learn something new, um, I think one way of thinking it is we tend to compartmentalize different things in our lives. No, whether we learn something technical or something business related, but maybe a change of perspective wherein pwede sila magsama always. And whenever we learn something new, we should always act on it and don't stop there. So I think that's really important. And a good example, binigay ni Ma'am earlier, if you want to act on something, join competitions, even just talk to someone about your idea and listen on feedbacks para malaman natin how do we act on an idea. I think that's one of the important things that we should always be able to do. Yan po.
Nice, nice. Thank you for those wonderful words. Dr. French, what can you say about those who are very reluctant pero gusto may idea na sila? What can you say to them to inspire them?
Uh, First is don't be afraid to fail because failure is not an opposite of success, but rather is a part of success. So you cannot be successful if you don't even experience any failure in your journey. So it's a different mindset that we were cultivated in academia. So in academia, you should be perfect. You should be magna cum laude, para you will really have this, get this, all of the opportunities in the world. That's the kind of mindset that the 21st, 20th, the the previous generation is calculated as to go to school, get high grades, and then land a high paying job. But right now, we need to really shift our mindset to be an entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneurial mindset doesn't mean that you will go to business or you will go to startup. It's more about the problem solving and making value out from the problem identification, getting opportunity out from that, and that's where you will really change the way we live because right now people or even not all of us are fit for work. Not not all of us really love our work. Like this is the one way you get your passion when you really make something valuable to other people. And that might be the only one pathway to magkaroon ng startup. Aside from that, there are a lot of, we can be entrepreneurial in many ways, in many cases. So that's, I think, the tip. No? How can we entrepreneurial? Yun. So, basta, being entrepreneur is not easy. Kaya sinabi ko kagad sa first statement ko that failure is a part of success. It's very natural to be failed. And hindi tayo na maniwala sa sinasabi na kailangan perfect, kailangan malaki yung grades. Even, kaya nga ngayon sa even I'm teaching right now in academy, um, as part of my uh, parang my advocacy din na I'm always encouraging those meager one, yung mga hindi masyadong matatalino because ito pa yung mga hindi matatalino at saka yung mga medyo bulakbol. Ito pa yung mga successful sa life. It's because they have this very entrepreneurial mind and they are not molded by that kind of system this produced by those people lang na follow ng instruction. So, mga disruptive, kumbaga. So, disruptive din yung mga behaviors. Yeah, yun lang. Don't afraid to fail and failure is part of success.
Hindi po namin kayo in-encourage na mag-drop out sa school. Ang sinasabi lang po namin is there are other paths.
Get skills from the university. Get the
Yes.
skill you need for you to start something you are very passionate you can risk yourself to be an entrepreneurial in that way.
And very nice words from Dr. Franch. So, gusto ko yung nung sinabi niya na don't be afraid to fail. Talaga nagtanguan po yung mga founders natin. Kasi I think we've all been part of like failure doesn't mean na wala na eh. I think it's just not this solution. Like not now, not this solution, not the right fit, but it's not a definite no. There's nothing impossible. There's no definite. You just have to come up with a different approach, a different perspective.
Correct.
May
So,
tanong nga, may tanong nga, ma'am.
go ahead. Sir.
Anong mangyayari pag walang failure? Do we need to have a startup? So, interview yung isang
Good point.
Ang sabi, parang wala at startup na mangyayari kung walang failure. So, actually, it's part of the DNA ng entrepreneurs na failure.
And I think most startups focus really on the pressing problems. So it's not really a failure, pero there's no solution for it right now. Not totally a failure, pero that's where we have to focus on, and that's really the niche of the startups. So parang kaya namin to, right? We can do this. Okay, so focusing again on your startups, looking forward for your company to reach the next stage. I think we might have people here in the audience who can support or provide assistance to the startups. What types of support do you need for you to reach the next stage of your startups? So, alam na natin where we stand, you have a goal in your future, but to reach your next stage, what support would you need right now? And yeah, that's it. So how about Bea?
For Cogen, right now, we want to expand our customer base. So what we need right now is funding. So if there are investors out there, so that's what we need to for our new projects, so that we can cater to more potential investors or co-owners and co-generators in our platform.
Okay. So how about you, Mark?
We are in our early stage pa as a business. We are servicing a few clients pa for now. And since because we are in a service provider na setup, we need opportunities to grow our network and reach out to stakeholders that have, if we provide our services to them, will have bigger impacts, like perhaps working with energy service companies or perhaps working with more LGUs, because these are the stakeholders who have, we have, besides from marami kaming similarities, but we also have common goals, kumbaga, to perform our functions, especially here in energy efficiency.
Okay. So network for you? Tama ba?
Opo.
Network and partner.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Leo? What does Micro need to go to the next stage?
So currently we need funding for the prototyping and partnerships to conduct the testing and pilot implementations. Second is the partnerships with experts regarding the implementation, such as engaging with the local communities and site development itself. And lastly, I think the government support, like DOST TAPI, to enable this sustainable energy future.
Nice. Think very ano yun, concise. Yun talaga yung need ng lahat na parang triangle yun na foundation for lahat ng startups. Ito po yung kailangan namin. Yes, sir. Okay, Dr. French, how about P Solar? Sir, wala kayong audio.
Yeah. For Solar naman, yeah, all of us naman kailangan ng pera. No? It's for our operations. At least we can do more pilot runs. We can reach more communities and cities. And with this portfolio that we can build out from that, I think that's where we can get more LGUs and more electric operators that trust our product and services, and so that they can we will be one of their partners when there are far-flung areas that are part of their service areas. So that's where we come in as a solution and as a Filipinas to their gaps. So yan po. Pera naman talaga yun.
So, okay, bala na yung funding. So, there are venture
And
capitalists
syempre,
out there.
at saka syempre, the government support, no? Since we have since, for example, government agencies, they have targets, then we can be one of the instruments to accomplish that targets, especially in line with the energy sustainability in their areas. Far-flung areas, makakatutubo natin.
Yeah, really nice. So again, if there are venture capitalists, angel investors out there who want to support sustainable energy, we have inspiring startup founders here. So to give the final words and maybe promote your own startups, if our audience wants to connect with you, how would they do that? So I'll give you each some time. So Mark, you wanna start?
Sige po. We have a website, biowa.dev, and you can see there our what who we are, what we do, and just to give you an idea din kasi medyo whenever we talk with potential clients, this is their first question kasi din, how do we help them? So if you are looking for a provider for, wondering if I want to place a solar PV but I'm not sure if my demand is efficient na ba kami on consuming our energy, or are we inefficient ba? So we can find the answers for you. We can conduct studies for you and such. So similarly, for LGUs out there, no, if you are still looking for specialists or on perhaps how do you come up with a local energy efficiency and conservation plans, which is part of the RA11 empowerments, we can also help you by, say, taking a close look at your public buildings and analyze them and measure the energy performance. So works like this is where Biowa Analytics will really shine. So if you're interested, again, biowa.dev, that's our website, or you can email me directly at makabilo@biowa.dev.
Okay, thank you for that, Mark. How about you, Bea? How does say something about Cogen?
Okay, so for Kajen, we have a Facebook page. You can message us via Facebook or Messenger, and you can also send us an email if you have inquiries at cogen.energy. We are a platform actually, so if anyone wants to partner with us, we're also open to other climate tech solutions if, for partnership. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Bea. Dr. French.
Yeah, we are also calling the attention of renewable energy solutions provider. If you want to expand more your market to the far-flung areas, and you have this difficulty for monitoring the health of the deployments solar home systems minion. And we're the right guy to do that. We're the right team and the right technology for you to partner with. And also for those LGUs who wanted and electric co-ops who wanted to also serve the unserved areas in terms of electrification. And we are also the best people and the best technology you can also so yeah, hopefully drop us a message on our Facebook. Ngayon, Facebook lang muna, PSOLAR PH. And drop us a message there.
Okay, thank you. And last but not the least, Leo for micro.
Yeah, so for Micro, we have a website which is micro.com. All of our contact information are there, and also the services that we are trying to give. And also, you can also connect with me faster in LinkedIn. Just search for my name, and we are also looking really for partners that have maybe a community or CTO level that can where we can potentially deploy our pilot systems in the near future.
Okay. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much, Mark, Bea, Leo, and Dr. Franch, for gracing us today for the Philippine Startup Week event, partnered with New Energy Nexus, Homegrown Climate Tech Heroes. And if you are interested to join our startup program, so New Energy Nexus Philippines, um, or you feel that we can collaborate or partner with our other programs, please feel free to reach us at Philippines at nexus.com, or email me at chan.salimbao at newenergynexus.com, or also follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, LinkedIn, and our website newenergynexus.com. So again, everyone, thank you for your time, and that's it.